Welcome to another episode, everyone. Armor truck robbing crew found dead. Black Pt.1, West Boulevard Crips, East Coast Crips, they all got together and started hitting these armored trucks, allegedly. And then when they started getting caught, they started shooting each other in the head. They started coming up dead, having shootouts with the police and all sorts of stuff. This is part one of armor truck robbery crew members found dead after $500,000 spree. But it was more than $500,000, man. Check this out.
After pulling off 5 armor truck robberies in a span of 11 months and getting away with over $500,000 in cash, a robbery crew comprised of rival hoods starts to get greedy and are unaware of the mistakes that they made along the way. As the feds start to close in, the back door is seemingly open. Some members start popping up with bullets in their head, while others go on the run, and some rather have a shootout with the police before going back to prison.
There's some people that are robbing armored cars.
Of course.
That are coming out guns a-blazing.
Oh, I know.
Right?
I know. Yeah.
I don't think that's you.
No.
I don't think that's you.
Rap news, street politics, and we back with season 2 of How to Rob with the best hood channel on YouTube. Everything that we speaking on in this video is for educational purposes only. We don't condone any acts of violence or robbery. Viewer discretion is advised. We going through the most prolific robbery teams and flock crews coming out the city of LA. But in season 2, we leaving behind the jewelry. No play extenders. We bringing no merchandise back after the move, trying to sell it for pennies on a dollar. We hitting straight cash. But you know how we do. We also got to critique how these dudes is getting down and how they ended up in front of the feds. We got a team coming out the west side of LA between some enemies turned friendlies, the Black Pt.1s and the West Boulevard Crips, who like to lay the armored truck guards down while they're servicing the ATM. We got somebody's 61-year-old grandfather on the move after doing 27 years in the feds for a previous bank robbery. He had enough time to realize he was a one-man crew, and he jumps back outside, also laying the armored truck guard down. We also got some Samoan Pyrus coming out of Carson, the ones that rather take a life before giving it up when the feds start to close in. But we got to start it on the west side with 2 brothers who were at the top of the food chain of a robbery crew called the Chesapeake Bandits. We got 37-year-old Denavis Hobson, also known as Nobby, or Lil Trey, from Black Pt.1 Bloods, the Jungles. Now, Nobby brings some impressive credentials to his team, being on the bank robbery team all the way back when he was 15 years old. He sat down for 17 years, released at 32, and he's back out looking to perfect his craft. Next up, we got his...
And as always, the individuals that done a lot of time in prison, getting out, not understanding the technology in the world today. You see the 61-year-old grandfather, basically, who did 27 years in prison, nearly 30 years, nearly half his life. And now he went back out in the street, allegedly, and he out there laying them down by himself, a one-man crew. Went to prison and did 27 years for a bank robbery. Leopards never change their freaking spots, boy. A leopard never changes his spot. Should. I mean, after 27 years, you would think that would be it, but no. And then this individual, the other individual, did 17 years. Getting out, not understanding all this, the cameras everywhere. It's not the same as it was 27 years ago, man. You're going to get caught up now if you're not extremely careful.
Little brother, 35-year-old James Davis Jr., also known as Puda or Rose, from West Boulevard Crip. Puda and his father are the reason why they're called the Chesapeake Bandits. Puda stayed on Chesapeake Avenue between 30th and 29th, in the middle of the West Boulevards. And this is where the crew set up shop and dispatch from on every move. Puda also brings some felony accolades, previously being arrested for ATM theft, receiving stolen property, and possession of burglary tools. Next up, we got another young homie coming out the West Boulevards, 30-year-old JD Young, also fresh out of a 12-year prison sentence. JD, who's also part of another clique inside of West Boulevard called ABM. He goes by ABM Jesus, and he's looking to play ball fresh out of state prison. Now, right next to JD, we got his right-hand man, 39-year-old Zeph Rocco from East Coast Crips. Now, Zeph also brings some impressive credentials to the team. Being convicted of second-degree robbery and carjacking back in 2005, he did a 15-year sentence, and he's back outside looking to run his bag up. Last but not least,
those are not good credentials. You got caught up and did 15 years in prison. You got caught already. So those are not good credentials. It shows that you were willing to do a robbery or whatever, but it also shows a propensity for you getting caught. Might not want to be doing this with you. And you may not want to be doing it anymore. All these individuals that just got out of prison after doing a long time, 15 years, 21 years, 17 years, 12 years, 10 years, shit. And they all heading back, or some of them, as we gonna see, they got gunned down after these robberies. 5 armored truck robberies in 11 months. They own one.
We got 33-year-old DeIsaac Jones. Now, DeIsaac's gang affiliation is unknown. He stayed in the nutty blocks, but he's a barber and made his way to West Adams and found himself a part of this robbery crew. Now, with everybody part of the crew being convicted felons and ex-convicts, and with some of the members meeting behind them walls in prison, it didn't take long for the Chesapeake Bandits to put together a plan of action. And with the Central District of California being one of the most targeted places for bank robberies, with over 4,000 in the Central District alone in the last 20 years, this seemed like a safe place to start. But there's common misconceptions that go along with stealing from the armored money truck. Now, one argument that a lot of crews make is that when they hit the truck, the money belongs to the truck company, whether it be Loomis, Sectran, or Brinks. Some people have the misconception that this money is not property of a financial institution. But things get muddy when you decide to hit this armored truck while they're maintaining an ATM at a federally regulated institution. And this is where we find ourselves at 8:48 in the morning on January 24, 2022 at the Wescom Financial Credit Union on Crenshaw and 120th in the city of Hawthorne. In the drive-through ATM, we have an armored truck driver, an employee of Sectran Security. He's outside of his armored truck and he's collecting cash from Wescom's drive-through ATM. As he's handling his business, there's a white Chevy Tahoe that's been sitting in the parking lot of Wescom for over an hour. Sitting inside that white Tahoe in the passenger seat is Nobby from BPS. The owner of the white Tahoe and the driver is his half-brother, Puda, from West Boulevard. They've circled Wescom and they've waited for the Sectran security truck to make its rounds as it does every Monday at the same time. They've driven behind the truck and they can be seen taking pictures from the white Tahoe of the Sectran employee as he's servicing the ATM. While Nobby and Puda are casing this bank in hopes to strike at this location, they're unaware of a Wescom employee who's the physical security analyst that just so happened to be at this specific branch on this day, has been watching them circle the parking lot for over an hour. This employee notices the pattern of the casing and calls the police.
Well, I mean, first of all, I would think that anyone would notice you circling for over an hour, particularly in a big truck, a noticeable truck. But even if you were in a small car, whether it be a customer inside of the credit union or bank, whether it be an employer or an employee, someone is going to notice, man, this just circling for an hour, never getting out, coming in, none of this. Okay, that's one. Then you're in your own truck, registered to you, big old Tahoe that, hell, I can see it right here. See the license plate and everything else. Why would you be circling this building in your own truck that is registered to you for over an hour? It just so happens this individual was inside of there and noticed it. But even if he had not noticed it, again, someone else more than likely would. And you're taking pictures of this van right here. Hell, probably even the individual in the van noticed it.
Police. Unaware of this phone call, Nobby and Puda pull out the parking lot, going west on 120th, and then again northbound on Crenshaw, where they're pulled over. Now, at the time, they haven't committed a crime. Police are not overly curious as to what they've been planning, but they do ask for identification. Both Nobby and Puda present driver's licenses with the Chesapeake Avenue address in the West Boulevard Crips. Police notate this address as both of their primary residencies, and Nabi and Puda are let go to handle their business. Now, casing the location and a potential target.
Okay, now I'm assuming that all of that information will be important later. I didn't see all of this. I only seen about 3 minutes of it. I haven't seen this part forward. But them giving them the police their address, they had no choice. I guess they got pulled over because the dude that was inside of the credit union that saw them casing the joint for an hour and a half and called in and gave him the description of the car, perhaps gave him the license plate, whatever. Police pull him over. Well, it's suspicious what y'all doing over there for an hour and a half. Get their names. They didn't have anything, or they was not guilty of anything, so they let them go. But they got their name and their address. Got their name and their address, their real address. Okay.
It's a mandatory step, especially when it comes to these crews that's taking their craft seriously. But this specific mission that Nabi and Puda went on was somewhat of a failure. Under no circumstances should they have came into contact with the police on this case. The security analyst for Wescom stated that they were in the parking lot for over an hour. That's the first red flag. No regular customer at the bank is gonna be circling the parking lot for an hour, taking pictures at the bank while somebody is servicing the ATM. That was an easy irregularity to spot. Now, this specific parking lot has other businesses around it. There's a Starbucks here, other restaurants, but it's still not the biggest location. Sitting on top of the bank for an hour is a no-go. For educational purposes only, there's other vantage points that Nabi and Puda should have used to evade detection. They honestly should have spent no more than 10 to 15 minutes in the parking lot. SecTrans Security visits this location every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If they felt like they needed an hour, they should have broke that hour up into multiple days. But as we continue to follow the Chesapeake Bandits, this move right here could be costly in the end.
Yeah.
But after the traffic stop, Puda and Nabi returned back to Chesapeake Avenue in the West Boulevards.
That decision is going to be costly in the end. We can see the writing on the wall with this already for sure. The fact that the police put them over and got their information, got their names and got their address. And then they're going to go back and still hit this thing. Because they're like, hell, we didn't get arrested. We didn't do anything. They put us over. But, no, you're never supposed to be casing that joint for an hour and a half. Y'all done lost y'all mind. Yeah, they got on you. Now they got you. Now they know who you are. And you're going to go back and hit it. Okay, yeah. Y'all going to get cooked.
Like this case was successful, and they begin planning the actual move. And this is where we find ourselves exactly 2 weeks later, Valentine's Day, Monday, February 14th, 2022. The same SecTran armored truck driver is back at this location at the same time, shortly before 9 a.m. in the morning. He's back outside of his truck, servicing the machine, when he notices a white car pull up behind him. This white car is a Honda with 4 occupants that came to a stop on the other side of the ATM where the armored truck vehicle was parked, in the manner that the guard said looked suspicious. As he turns back to the ATM, 3 men jump out of the Honda and put an AR-15 to the back of the guard's head. They told him not to try anything or they gonna blow his head off. They meticulously waited for him to disarm the machine, and they watched him open it up, pull the money out, and put the money into his armored truck bag, securing the deposits. Now, along with the AR-15 style rifle, they also had handguns, and they stripped the guard of his pistol as well. Along with the pistol, they also secured approximately $100,000 in cash, along with a bag of check deposits. Now, in the midst of this robbery, an accident is made. One of the pistols accidentally goes off, with one of the robbers verbally saying out loud, "Oh shit," for the armored guard to hear.
Damn.
But after it was all said and done, the 3 suspects jump back into the white Honda and flee eastbound on 120th, and then making a left northbound on Van Ness Avenue. Now, with this first robbery, the suspects drive back to West Adams, and the police head to Wescom. When the police cut the surveillance video on, they saw how the guard was on his knees. They saw the white Honda, and they see how all of the suspects are completely covered up. But when they get the footage from the small camera that's located on the ATM, they find their first lead. While the individual with the AR-15 is holding the guard down, and they stripping him, his shirt lifts up from the back and the tattoo is exposed. It's a distinct star tattoo on his lower back, and the ATM footage shows him bending down to grab the money, and detectives get a clear look at this lower back tattoo.
Oh my God. Buzzer luck. Bum stuff right there. But they making plenty of mistakes already. I can't get over them casing the joint for an hour and a half. And certainly these are the same two of the four are two of the individuals that was inside of that Tahoe casing the joint. And now you done came back to hit the joint. Now you're exposing your tattoo. You know you got these tattoos on your back. You're supposed to have something that's going to make sure it doesn't lift up and cover that or uncover your tattoos and show them to the camera. Certainly you have to know the cameras are everywhere right here. How you going to get out of it with this tattoo if they catch up with you? Oh, man. Yeah. That's why they was in prison, did all that time in prison, and now some of them are going to be heading back. Got to be careful.
Along with that, they begin to canvass the area, and they locate a ring camera off 119th and Haas Avenue in the 11-5 neighborhoods. And at 8:34 in the morning, on this ring camera, 10 minutes before the robbery, they find a white sedan matching the description of the Honda used at the Wescom bank. But they also find the lead car, a white Chevy Tahoe. But with nobody being identified at the Wescom, the white sedan being a stolen vehicle, and them not being able to identify plates on the Tahoe right before the robbery, the police sit on their hands while the Chesapeake bandits are in the West Boulevards dividing up the money. But it didn't take long for that money to pop up in some flexing on YouTube. And on March 8th, 2022, JD, again, who also goes by ABM Jesus, makes his rap debut with All Blue Hunnids. But it's more than what meets the eye to this music video. Not only is it just weeks after the first robbery at Wescom, we get introduced to some other players in the game. Zeph Rocco from East Coast and the barber, D. Isaac Jones, is also in the music video. Along with them, some crispy $100 bills and a distinct money bag that would later come into question in possession of JD.
Sitting in the cool counting all blue hundreds, all blue hundreds, all blue hundreds. Sitting in the cool counting all blue hundreds, all blue hundreds, all blue hundreds. Sitting in the cool counting all blue hundreds, all blue hundreds, all blue hundreds. Sitting in the cool counting all blue hundreds, all blue hundreds, all blue hundreds.
Now, while JD is
Yeah, they need to be arrested for that damn song. Now look at this. They done hit the truck and then made a video immediately. Made a rap video. All blue hundreds. That's all. All blue hundreds. What are you talking about? Ow. Got the broad. Got some old stank sitting right there counting the money. She ain't did nothing. What's she right there with a handful of money for? Counting the money like she on like that, like she popping. It ain't a black woman either. Sellouts. Go make this damn video as soon as y'all do this. Showing, and then he says that the bag is gonna come into play. They're showing the bag on the video too. This is right after they didn't hit the lick. Just can't wait to show it off. Just can't wait to show off money. People do this sort of stuff, go on Instagram, showing all they, I got the money right here and all this. Y'all ain't on like that. And then if you are, why would you want to expose it? Particularly after you did something to get the money that is illicit and that can cost you your life. This is ridiculous, man. Y'all gonna get enough of these Instagram posts and trying to act like y'all got it. If you got it, you got it. You ain't gotta let everybody know. You got it, you own it. Man, you own. Damn.
trying to jumpstart his rap career, Nabi has been doing maintenance on the tools used in these robberies. Immediately after the move at Wescom, he's in communication with an individual in the paperwork known as Lil Calvin Relly. Unbeknownst to the feds, Lil Calvin is the individual that Nabi has been in communication with for months in regards to the firearms. He's had multiple conversations about buying AR-15s and pistols from Lil Calvin. But on the night of the Wescom robbery, Nabi has deemed the pistol that was shot by accident as being bad. He offered the pistol to Lil Calvin. Calvin asked how much he wanted for it. He said $800, and he asked, is it all the way bad? Nabi replies that it's not all the way bad. It was just shot during a get down. No bodies on it, but Nabi don't want it. Lil Calvin immediately starts to look for a buyer, but gotta switch things up because he thought it had a body on it. But while the police are still struggling to identify everybody at the Wescom robbery, the Chesapeake bandits set their sights a half a mile away from Wescom at the Bank of America on 116th and Crenshaw Boulevard. Now, the armored truck of choice at this location.
Now that's another mistake. Trying to sell a pistol. You're so nervous about it because the pistol went off, first of all, during the robbery. The pistol went off. What are y'all doing? Fucking bad news bears. The pistol went off. You're casing the joint for an hour and a half. You're showing your damn tattoo. You're right in front of the ATM where the camera's at. And then the pistol goes off. You didn't take it out. You ain't aim it. You ain't shoot it, thankfully. But it goes off. Could have shot yourself. It's not on safety. Unless you got it out about to use it. Oh, man. Nah, man. They making some mistakes. Now he wants to get rid of the pistol. Don't get rid of it. Don't sell it to someone because now they get caught up. They get caught. They're going to say where they got it from. And you still cooked. Just get rid of it. If you think it's no good to the point that you don't want it no more, then why would you try to put it out in the street so that it can be traced back to you? This is where individuals make these mistakes all the time. But this is not how to get away with robbery. I'm just saying these dudes have made some mistakes.
Was Loomis. This bank was serviced every Thursday, and it was the first stop in Loomis's route due to this location being set as high risk. Again, this is Crenshaw on 116th, right outside of Imperial Village, blocks away from the Inglewood families and the Avenue Pyrus.
Yeah.
But the other concern from Loomis is the layout. It's right off Crenshaw Boulevard. There's a wraparound parking lot directly next to the branch, and where the Loomis truck has to go to service the ATM is extremely accessible to the neighborhood directly behind the branch in the Imperial Village Crips. It's a lot of blind spots in this area, and Loomis took note of that. But the Chesapeake bandits, still doing somewhat of an okay job. They've made it all the way to Thursday, June 9th, 2022. 4 months after the Wescom robbery, they arrived to the Bank of America shortly before 8 in the morning. This is when
4 months later, okay, so, but why are you trying to sell a gun for $800 for the reasons aforementioned? You shouldn't be trying to put it back out in the universe. But then, it's like you're being greedy. 800, you just hit an armored truck. You got away with at least 100 racks right there, even though it was 4 of you. That's 25 a piece, but still. You don't need the $800 for this damn pistol, man. Get rid of this thing. Y'all being greedy, man. Okay, 4 months later, they on another mission here in front of Bank of America, still on Crenshaw.
Loomis truck driver named Samuel is inside of the driveway, servicing the ATM, doing the same thing that the individual at Wescom was doing, disengaging the ATM and taking the deposits out of the machine. A silver Chevy Equinox pulls up directly behind the Loomis vehicle, and in the same fashion as Wescom, 3 suspects jump out. Now Nabi, just like at the Wescom robbery, takes the lead. He comes from the passenger side of the armored vehicle, points the assault rifle directly at Samuel, and tells him not to move. He then tells him to put his hands on his head, and he takes his pistol out of his holster. Nabi then takes the keys off of Samuel's keychain and unlocks the armored car for the other suspects to pop inside of it. And as the other suspects start to go through the truck, they realize the money seemed a little short. Nabi pushes Samuel to the floor and starts asking him where the rest of the money at before his teeth get knocked out. Samuel said there was no more money, and Nabi kicks him. And as the group runs back to the Chevy Equinox, they make off with $92,840 in cash. But just like the first robbery, cookie crumbs were left behind. Around 10 minutes after the robbery at Bank of America, police receive a 911 call at Century Park Elementary School on 109th and Spinning Avenue, just a few blocks northeast of the Bank of America. At 8 o'clock in the morning, a witness stated that they observed 3 males covered in black ski masks, black clothing, armed with a handgun and an assault rifle, exchanging a backpack. The witness also stated that the males were in a white truck and another white four-door vehicle. Detectives then do what they did at Wescom, surveillance the neighborhood, and they come up on Ring camera footage. When they pop it on, they see yet again a white Chevy Tahoe, accompanied by the Chevy Equinox used at the crime scene. Now with this information, they head back over to the Bank of America and start reviewing that footage. They see the whole get down that morning. They also see how the bandits zip-tied Samuel while they ransacked the truck, but they took it a step further.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but these individuals are not that bright. No, because they've already pulled you over in this white Tahoe when you were casing at the joint foolishly for over an hour. Someone got a hold, saw what was going on, called the police, turned you in. Police, you already drove off. They pulled you over. They pulled you over because of this, because of you casing this joint, this credit union, this bank, wherever you were at. They pulled you over because you were casing it. They got a phone call, took down your name, got your license plate, got the whole makeup of your car now, got your address. They know that you guys are brothers, all this stuff. And now, even though it's 4 months later, still, you on record now. They have a record of you in your truck. And now you go and you follow this Equinox to this other lick right here in this same big-ass white Tahoe. That's noticeable. And that they have a record of for having pulled over for casing another joint. Another robbery that ended up transpiring over there. Weapons then went off and all of this 4 months ago. Now, but y'all was in a white Nissan or whatever. Now you're back in your Tahoe though. You think things done cooled off because it's 4 months later that you can jump back in this Tahoe during a bank robbery and you're following and they have cameras everywhere. They can see that you're following them, as we can see. Nah, man.
They rewinded the clock back to the night before the robbery. And this is when they get the best angle showing the plates of the white Chevy Tahoe that was occupied by Nabi and Puda when they were casing the Wescom Bank. Now, this would be the Fed's first introduction to Chesapeake Avenue in the West Boulevards in regards to these robberies. And this is when they start getting acquainted with the Chesapeake bandits. Now, with the Chevy Tahoe being registered to Puda, he immediately starts off as their prime suspect. Now, as they lay eyes on him on Chesapeake Avenue, they realize that his build resembles that of suspect number 1, observed at the bank robbery at Wescom on February 14th, 2022. And this is when everything adds up for the federal agents in regards to them casing the bank 2 weeks prior. And their first plan of action, with the Chevy Tahoe now coming up 3 times, they put a GPS tracker on Puda's truck. But with Puda's West Boulevard ties and him not being alone when he was pulled over leaving Wescom on the casing, it didn't take long for them to start looking at Nabi. And by June 30th, 2022, 3 weeks after the Bank of America robbery, the GPS tracking device is installed on the Tahoe and they begin to match Nabi's build to suspect 2 at the Wescom robbery and suspect number 2 at the Bank of America robbery. As they begin to track his movements between June and July of 2022, they notice he's been driving a white Chevy Impala registered to his girlfriend who he was living with. They then apply to put a GPS tracker on Nabi's girlfriend's vehicle. But as they study the Wescom footage a little bit more, now that they're introduced to their main 2 suspects, they begin looking at suspect 3, who jumped out of the white Honda at Wescom. Now, Nabi and Puda have an older brother by the name of Dennis Hobson, who's also from West Boulevard. In an internal federal email regarding the search warrants and the initial stages of this investigation, they state that Nabi's sibling, Dennis Hobson, closely resembles suspect 2, observed in the bank's video surveillance footage as being involved in the robbery. They noted that Dennis is seen in multiple social media posts having a close relationship with both Nabi and Puda. And the feds think this is a full family affair. But as the feds expected with the GPS tracking device, a day after they installed it on the Tahoe, Puda's in motion. At 6...
Puda's in motion. A day after they didn't put the GPS on there. Okay, so they ain't got the Tahoe caught up, all in the law enforcement's eyesight, this Tahoe. They got to see the license plate clear as day. They already know the license plate, right? They put them over and got all of that. So now they know these individuals, but these are the feds. So they don't rush. They don't rush to judgment. They don't rush to arrest you. They have the Tahoe at the crime scene 2 and 3 times. But they are in no rush. Go ahead and hit another bank. They'll let you do all that. Go ahead and hit another bank. But now we're watching you. Now we're on to you. And we're going to wait until we got you for sure, till we got you dead bang, till we know everything that's going on. Even if it takes 2 or 3 more robberies, y'all can go ahead and do that. Because we going to come and get you and take all the money back anyway. We're going to come and arrest you. So sooner or later. So go ahead. They didn't put GPSs on the Tahoe and put a GPS on Lil Navi's girlfriend's car. So they following them now. Oh, man. Going to follow them straight to another armored truck.
36 p.m. July 1st, 2022. He's on Century Boulevard. What the feds say is casing Schools First Credit Union. Schools First is also going to be serviced by Sectrans Security, the same armored truck that services Wescom. A little over 2 weeks later, July 18, 2022, at 5:45 p.m., they follow Pt.1 to a California credit union, also alleging that he was casing that bank as well. Now, after following Pt.1 for the last few weeks, notice that he's going to multiple banks and has been at multiple banks. The FBI begins to subpoena his financial records. They subpoenaed accounts for Baxter Credit Union and his Zelle. The BCU account showed that he used the Wescom ATM multiple times to withdraw money. And it also showed them that he had an account with Ally Bank. So when they took this information to Wescom, Wescom replied that he did not have an account with them. He was using his Cash App card to withdraw money from BCU out of the Wescom ATM. It also showed that he didn't have a Schools First or California Credit Union account, thus raising more questions as to why he was at those banks when the feds were following him. Now, as we see, the feds have become hyper-focused on Nabi and Pt.1. The other individuals of the crew have seemingly kept themselves hidden for now. But while this investigation is starting to open up, August 4th, 2022, Thursday morning, the Hustlers Casino in Gardena is robbed. Another armored security truck, but this time things didn't go off as smooth. It had the same MO as the Chesapeake Bandits. The truck had just arrived at the casino, positioned to pick up the deposits. When the 2 guards got out of the truck, they were approached by at least 2 suspects, and gunfire was exchanged. One of the guards was hit, and the robbers got into the armored vehicle, making away with over $1 million.
Damn.
Now, at this time, there was no indication that the Chesapeake Bandits were behind this. But if they were, this was the biggest take of their run. And this is where they also start to get greedy. 2 weeks after the casino move, Nabi is in communication with his...
Woo! So what does he say? He say right here on the title, armored truck robbery crew members found dead at the 500,000 spree. So I say it's more than that. We up to 1.2 million already. With this one being $1 million, if they are responsible for this. He has it in this narration. I'm assuming it's going to come out that this same crew was somehow involved in this. The Hustler Casino in Gardena. Yeah, everybody be up there, used to be up there gambling. Oh, that's crazy. They didn't run up in there. But they getting away, but they got the GPS. So we'll see, but they getting greedy.
Girlfriend's son, who was 17 years old at the time, about different casings. He spoke about Clark and Alondra, a Loomis armor vehicle. And just like his communications with Lil Calvin, he's also talking about guns. And this was the Chesapeake Bandits starting to gear up for their next move. A month later, September 15, 2022, a Brinks armored truck at PLS check cashers right outside the West Boulevards off La Brea and Jefferson. At 12:20 in the afternoon, a Brinks truck worker by the name of Reginald is here on his scheduled route off of La Brea, dropping money off to the PLS check cashers. Reginald exits the vehicle. In hand, he has the Brinks bag with money in it, about to walk inside. This is when he sees a gray Ford Explorer, black trim, no license plates, parked in the parking lot. He then notices a green laser pointed right at his chest, and then he feels a gun pressed up against his shoulder. Like clockwork, 3 suspects with zip ties in hand, matching the same descriptions as the past robberies. Strips Reginald of his gun and his keys. This is when Reginald states that he starts receiving confusing commands. One person is telling him to sit down, another's telling him to stand up, and somebody else saying to get on your knees. When they grab the keys, they try to get into the Brinks truck, but they're having problems. This is when one of the suspects ups a machine gun style weapon, and another suspect had to tell him to shoot Reginald 3 times since they were having trouble getting into the truck. Luckily for Reginald, they found their way into the truck, ransacked it, and all suspects jumped back into the Ford Explorer with $375,000 in straight cash. But the crazy part, the same white Chevy Tahoe led the Ford Explorer to the scene with the GPS tracker still on it. And it also led a separate getaway vehicle away from the scene within 30 minutes of the robbery. Now, 2 hours.
God. Wow. The same Chevy Tahoe, bro. They got the tracker on it now. Wow. They got $375,000 cash on this one. What y'all gonna keep going? This is just gonna be your whole life, your career. Eventually you're gonna get caught. Eventually you have to stop. At what point are you gonna stop? When you hit the casino, you got $1 million. Unlike these other situations where you're getting 100,000, but this one it was nearly $500,000, 375. But when are you gonna stop? And now they got the Chevy Tahoe, got the tracker on there, and know that that same Tahoe was just at this robbery. Y'all driving around in y'all Tahoe doing all of these robberies after you've already been pulled over before the first. You're supposed to scrap it then. Once you got put, you never should have been in the car anyway. That's registered to you. But you were. Once you got pulled over and they had written everything down about your truck, your address, your names, in that moment you say, we'll never drive this truck again. Not to have anything to do with a robbery. Jeez.
After their third move, like clockwork, they're back on Chesapeake in the West Boulevards. But this time, the feds are staking them out. They watch Puda take out the trash. They see him jump in the Tahoe, stop to talk to a neighbor before driving off. And with this stakeout, the FBI has finally caught the Chesapeake bandits in the act on their third robbery. Now, they don't strike immediately. You know how the feds move. Very slow. They got a lot of time, especially when you playing with financial institutions. Those statute of limitations hit different. But just to make sure they on the right people, September 30th, 2022, 2 weeks after the PLS check robbery on La Brea, the FBI informs LAPD and the LA sheriffs that they need to take a look at Nobby. LA sheriff perform a routine traffic stop on Nobby and asks him to step out. Everything seems normal, but when they tell Nobby to turn around and lift his shirt up, a 5-point star tattoo is located on his lower back. The same tattoo seen all the way back on February 14th of that year, 2022, on the ATM camera when the robbers bent down to take the cash. They got a match.
That's why I'm like, God, I always admire tattoos, dude.
Everything.
Let me see all your shit. What about your brother? Your brother bang too?
Well, all my family from the.
Bro, I might even F on you. I'm just looking, man. It's not even a big thing. Let me see.
Blood makes sense. Your bro? Your brother? Or your homie?
This is my brother.
What else you have?
Yeah, I'm whole body.
God damn, bro.
I just told him I went
You
to
been in prison? I was about to say you been in prison.
I did.
No shit. What else? Come here. Let me see. Let me see all your shit. I promise I'm not putting none of this shit on paper.
Oh, dude, you're an SC fan?
Yeah.
Hey, none of this shit going on paper, bro. Let me see. Take your shit off. Cause I don't ever see people from fucking BPS over here. God damn, bro.
Oh, straight up. Or Pirates.
Black Peace Stone.
Black Peace Stone. Yeah.
The pictures of Nobby's lower back are sent to the FBI, and they use feature recognition to match the surveillance camera image perfectly with Nobby's tattoo taken on his traffic stop. And on October...
Yeah, he's seeming real proud. Yeah, my tattoo. Take off his shirt, showing, not knowing they got your tattoo on camera. This whole stop is set up, pulling you over to get a view of your tattoos. And you just taking off your shirt and just doing a whole 360 for him. and then they see the tattoo that they're looking for. They already have the GPS, though, that they didn't follow you to these crime scenes. It really started with the first mess up. It really started with that, with them showing up to case the joint for an hour and a half in some big ass white Tahoe. From there, it was downhill, period. From there. But there you go. You see the feds. They got enough to arrest them right now. They got them on GPS going over there. They got the tattoos. They got all that. They still let them stay. Go ahead. Do your stuff. Live it up. Rob another one. They building the case at the case on them. Gonna make sure that when they get them, it's a wrap. You ain't never getting back out. They letting them hang themselves, if you will.
October 18, 2022, FBI, LAPD, Inglewood PD, and Hawthorne PD serve a search warrant on Chesapeake Avenue, as well as Nobby's girlfriend's house where he was staying at. And this is when Nobby meets the federal agent that's been chasing him down. Special Agent Elizabeth Cardenas took it upon herself to meet with Nobby when they kicked his door in. But she took it a step further. She got Nobby in the backseat of an unmarked vehicle and secretly recorded an interview between them.
Okay, so I don't really want to BS you about why we're here. We're here because of the armored car robberies. Like I told you before, we're not only talking to you, we're talking to some of your family, at a couple other places. So I know, like, if your family's involved, you know, I know how that is. I want you to know that we're here because we had to take a lot of steps to make sure we were sure that we were at the right place, talking to the right people. So before I kind of ask you any questions, I just want you to have that in mind, that for a Fed investigation, we have to be very thorough.
Oh, I know.
You know, and I wouldn't feel
that.
comfortable coming here and doing all that if I didn't feel sure that I was at the right place.
I got you.
So we do have enough surveillance footage, cell records, surveillance efforts, vehicles. Unfortunately, so today you're not under arrest. We won't be taking you, not because we're not sure, but because on the Fed side, they make us kind of go through some steps.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. There's some people that are robbing armored cars.
Of course.
That are coming out guns a-blazing.
Oh, I know.
Right?
I know. Yeah.
I don't think that's you.
Fuck no.
I don't think that's you.
Nah.
I see that and I'm like,
nah.
That is the most reckless,
yeah, very
young,
reckless. Very
inexperienced
reckless.
thing
Very.
I have ever seen.
Very.
Especially to get no money sometimes.
But Chesapeake Avenue gave them everything they could ask for. A surveillance camera system that watched everything over the past year. And James Davis Sr., Puda's father, Nobby's stepfather, provided the FBI with the passwords to the camera. Now, the DVR system consisted of several cameras located at the Chesapeake property. The only caveat was that it didn't go back past March of 2022. So they didn't get the Wescom robbery, but they flicked it straight to June 8, 2022, the Bank of America robbery on Crenshaw and 116th. The night before the robbery at 11 p.m., the silver Chevy Equinox that was used at the robbery makes an appearance in the West Boulevards. It slows down in front of the house, and 5 minutes later, Puda emerges and is seen speaking with two unidentified males, one of them wearing a security guard uniform. The other unidentified male was wearing some Jordans, resembling those worn by Suspect 2 in the Bank of America robbery.
Yeah, I bet they do resemble those worn by Suspect 2. I'm not sure exactly why that police officer had him in there secretly recording him, because, well, apparently, clearly it was a setup. But she's trying to say, I know it wasn't you. She's setting him up. You know, we're talking to your family. They're in there raiding his house. So they're putting the heat on him. They do know that it was him. And somebody's going to start talking. But I'm interested to know who ends up dead. Who had a shootout with the police? All of this stuff. We got 5 individuals here. I'm going to leave it there for right now. I will do part 2 today. I need to see this myself. But it's been going on, as we can see, for some time now. But I'm going to get to part 2 today. For sure. This is wild work. I need to know myself who then got shot in the head out of this crew, who had a shootout with the police, who ended up dead, and who's arrested. Because apparently it's about to go all bad. I mean, they done got caught up, man. And starting from day one, before the first robbery, before they even did the robbery, they were cooked. When they first cased the joint, they were cooked. That first time they cased the joint. So as soon as you don't even go do the robbery, you just go to set up for it. The very moment that you go to set up for it, everything's over. You make mistakes in that moment that derail everything else. Nothing else matters. Other than that, it looks like they could have been getting away until the police got a hold of their information and where they live and that damn dumbass Tahoe. And they've been caught up ever since. Oh man, I need to know myself what happened though. This is rap news and street politics. Shout out to him. He's a very thorough, he said he's the best hood channel on YouTube. Hard for me to disagree. I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. I've seen some of it. He's very thorough. He has all of his facts together. He has all of his information for sure. With all of his videos. Wow. And he just goes and goes with it. He's real good, man. Well, there you go. That's part 1, man. We'll get to part 2 today. Let me know what you think in the comments. These individuals, West Boulevard, Black Peastone, Brothers, dude from East Coast, another individual from West Boulevard. They're making videos. Blue Hunteds. Oh my God. What are you talking about, bro? You know, hours after the robbery, got some bag in there. Hey, pulled this dude over, got his tattoos. He thinking he fucking Jay-Z or something, that they pulling him over because he a celebrity. Oh, let us see you. And he taking off his shirt. Yeah, they trying to see that it's you that did the damn robbery. Now you're cooked. They finna charge you with all these robberies. They still got him on the street, though. All this time, police hit their house now, though. Still didn't arrest him. She told him right then and there, not here to arrest you. The feds, boy, they can know you guilty. They know you done did some stuff. They got the GPS on them. They got video footage. They got the tattoos. The gun didn't went off, and they still let them stay on the street. They're still in no rush to just give them enough rope to continue to cook themselves. To make sure when we do come and get you, we got all our facts together, we got the whole case, there's no getting out of it. Wow, they cold. All right, we get to part 2, man. That's crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Armored truck robberies gone extremely wrong, or at least they're about to go wrong. Stay safe and stay free, people.